Hey YouTube. There, I was going to show you my hand clutch wasn't working on this tractor. WD hjalmer's, not WD 45. Anyways, this wasn't working, so since I put the mower on, I want to be able to stop the forward motion without stopping the sickle bar. Anyhow, it wasn't working because it's got to click over. Okay, so here's the clutch. Now it's clicking over, getting the gap. So it seems to be working. But what I had to do was, there's these three of these things on the engine clutch or the transmission clutch, whatever. So anyways, there's three of these, and there's shims in here. And in order to get it to click over, I saw on YouTube, no, it wasn't YouTube, it was a tractor outfit, but I was supposed to take shims out of there. So I took out 2 shims out of each of the 3 things, and here's what the shims look like. I hope you can see it. Took out 2 out of each one. I had to take the battery box off, and I had to take the battery off, and before it wouldn't click at all when I tipped it, when I moved it over. So these are look like probably the same shims that they made when they put it together or whatever, factory. So now it should work, and I haven't tried it out yet. It should work. I might show you that when I try it out. Just set everything back on here and just try it. But anyways, that's what I did there. I had to take the battery box off, unscrew all these bolts. I tried to get the hydraulic line off so I could have easier access to this, but that didn't work. So I unscrewed it and pulled it out from underneath. So there's that. But anyways, when you take the shims out, you just loosen these 2 bolts, and then this is the long side of the shim. So then you can spread it out with like a pry bar, and you can see one shim, and there's slices down them, so you can see they slide over the bolts. You don't have to take the bolts all the way out. So then you lift. This is the long end on the shims, that's the short end. So then you lift it up, and then I took that feeler gauge and I pried out just one small thin, and then I could lift up one shim and slide it out. So there you learn that. Wasn't that something? So anyways, I haven't tried it out yet or nothing. I have to go put it back together somewhat. So there, I did that. Now I gotta go over and move hjalmer, sheep buck. Always something, hjalmer. I was going to tell you a joke. Sven saw Ole in the grocery store, and he had 2 black eyes. And he said, "Where'd you get those?" He said, "I got them in church." He said, "How could you get a black eye in church?" He says, "Well, when we stood up to sing, Mrs. Johnson was sitting in front of me. When she stood up to sing, her dress was tucked into the crack of her butt. So I figured I'd help her out, and I tugged it out of there. She turned around and smacked me." Well, she said, that's one black eye. How'd you get the second one?" And I said, "Well, I felt so bad about it that the next time we stood up to sing, I figured I better tuck it back in there for her." How you like that? So anyways, I'm gonna move hjalmer. I'm gonna start the tractor, lift the doohickey up, and move the bucket and lift up his pen. So anyways, yeah, he didn't laugh at my joke either. So there, raise up the bucket. See how he's eating most of the grass down. We'll drag drag them out this way a little ways. Steering on this thing is kind of atrocious. Gonna have to go fetch some water because I'm gonna spill it. But that's okay, I know where it is. So there. Hjalmers and fine clover. So that's enough for today. Right now. Talk at you later.